I'm Michael Neziri, and this is Jill Neziri, and we have Cole and Ashia. And what's your
Asia.
Asia? And what's your last name?
Lavergne.
Lavergne, and you own Iron Empire.
Yes, sir.
Where's that located?
It's in Mamou, Louisiana.
What, Louisiana?
Mamou.
Mamou.
Mhm.
Yes, we're like central Louisiana.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. We went through Louisiana once, right? That was like that 110-degree day.
Yeah.
Oh,
That would be it.
yeah.
Yeah, we had the bright idea to take a motorcycle ride to New Orleans in August.
Yeah.
In August, and it's hot going through Louisiana in August on a motorcycle.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a different type of heat.
Yeah, I like literally almost like just fell off my motorcycle from just I melted off. It was crazy.
That sounds about right.
But so now this is a special podcast because I have my wife with me today. I have a couple that lifts together, and I think lifting together builds a special bond. I think different than I don't really know like any other sports where couples are lifting together like that because other sports are so separate. Like a baseball, just like a female baseball team, a male baseball team. You know, while we're in like different like divisions, we're lifting on the same platform. You know what I mean? It's together. So
Yeah.
how did you guys individually get into this? Did you meet doing this, or were you both powerlifting and met?
No, we actually met in high school. We've been together since we were probably about 15, I guess. But he got into powerlifting about 7 years ago.
7 to 8 years ago.
7 years ago, and then I kind of started about like a couple of years after him. Just he asked me to lift with him one day, and then it was all uphill from there.
Yeah, it was a little different. Jill was on. Oh, you want to tell? You want to tell them the story?
So I started powerlifting at the very beginning of college. I had actually dislocated my elbow and shattered my ulnar radius before starting college. And the surgeon had told me to start lifting to prevent arthritis. So I just wandered into the college weight room when I started college, and didn't know what I was doing. I was kind of just messing around in whatever way I could figure out. And then the strength and conditioning coach came over to me and another girl who was down there, and we were kind of hiding in the corner together. And he said, "You girls are going to be the girls on my new powerlifting team." So we were like, okay. We didn't even know what that entailed, but we were game. So that's how I got started powerlifting. We were the two girls on the new powerlifting team, and we learned what that meant from there. But in the meantime, Michael was on the swim team. He was a NCAA Division I swimmer, and he was in the weight room just doing his conditioning for swimming at the time. And he had a girlfriend. I would see him around the weight room here and there. He was on the treadmill a lot, and I remember one particular day, I was in there training for powerlifting, and he was running on the treadmill. Do you mind if I tell this story?
Yeah,
And his ex-girlfriend who was his girlfriend at the time, was standing nearby him. I don't know what was going on, but I was down there with my friend, and she was saying something to him, and he was yelling at her. And I just looked at my girlfriend, and I was like, I would never date an asshole like that. And a year and a half later, he ended up on the powerlifting team. He ended up quitting swimming and joining powerlifting, and the rest is history.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's cool.
It took it took some convincing to get out and go out on a rail date, but eventually we did.
Yeah.
We actually, well, when I first started lifting, I mean, I could lift nothing. I mean, all the guys were squatting on like one squat rack, and then I would squat with Jill and that new girl Veronica, and then I was squatting like 95 pounds. It was a lot of weight for me then when I first started, and yeah, so that's where I started from. That was like my max squat. You guys, do either of you have any powerlifting records?
Yeah, I have state, national, and world records in different federations.
Really, which federations?
SPF, APF, USPA,
I don't know.
USAPL,
Yeah,
um, RPS,
yeah.
a few.
He kind of just does it all.
A lot of letters, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the ones around us really are like this RPS, USAPL, 100% raw. Those are like the three I think around here, right? USPA.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we mostly lift in 100% raw.
Yeah.
We used to lift in an organization, kind of got eaten up by it when the guy who ran it died, ADAU, and that was that. But I see I've scrolled through a lot of you guys' Instagram. You guys, it looks like you're mostly doing like the three main power lifts, right? The squat, bench, and the deadlift. In our organization now, they just recently started the strict curl. Do any of the organizations down there in Louisiana have it?
I think SPF added it to their meet. They started doing that.
They gonna have it this for this meet?
Yeah, they will have strict curl.
I might do that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, it's fun. I would do it definitely. It's
Yeah,
definitely.
we're actually hosting a SPF meet at the gym.
March
on-
20th.
Yeah, March 20th.
That's cool. That's your first hosting of like a sanctioned meet.
No, we actually do two sanctioned meets a year at the gym. We have one that's with the SPF and then one with the APF. And this will be our second year hosting both of those meets. So
Which training method are you guys using? Does your gym basically run all on one training method? All your trainers?
Well, I'm actually coached by David Shirley. He's the vice president of the SPF, and I pretty much go based off everything. I do some of the stuff that I've been doing before I was getting coached, and I mix some of his stuff and my stuff, and we just kind of run that. He's very flexible, like with he has guidelines, but he says if it doesn't, he's open to if it doesn't work, go with what's working.
Right.
So I like that a lot. It's not like pressure.
You guys train in like 6 or 7 week cycles, going up to a competition.
Yeah, it depends. Sometimes we do like a 12, but I find that 12 sometimes it goes too long. I get bored with it.
Yeah.
I rather or I'll start peaking at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And this one right here, we're trying like at
eight or 9 week.
8 or 9 week cycle.
Yeah, I prefer like the 8 week training cycle.
Right. You want to talk about it? I mean.
We generally strive for like an 8-week cycle, but depending on what competition we have to hit, sometimes it'll be a 7. I think the longest we've ever had to do was like a 10 or 11, and we find the same thing that you guys are saying. Like 10 or 11 gets hard on the body. You might peak a little too early. It's crunch. So we prefer like the 7 or 8 week.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. I think that's like the ideal length.
Yeah, that's the sweet spot for us.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys coach anyone?
What's that?
You have like a team there at the gym that you coach?
We do. We got the local high school has a powerlifting team, and we work with some of the younger kids in that, and we do have some members that actually powerlift out of the gym.
Oh, that's great. How many people you got?
Probably about 8.
Yeah, it's probably about 8 of us.
Yeah, that's great. That's a nice sized team.
Yeah.
How many? You have girls too?
Yeah,
2?
We have 2 for sure. I was like slowly trying to pull some more girls in here. A lot of them, especially in our area, they kind of shy away from it. But we getting there. I'm starting to pick up a few more girls.
What do you guys? Do you both coach the team together?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he does the bulk of it. And then every time if we pick up another girl, then because I find that most of them like it better if I kind of like take the helm on their training.
I feel more comfortable with her taking control, like with the girl, especially with the spotting and I'll be on the side, kind of like watching and but more her like more hands on, you know, with the
Yeah.
girls, and
No,
I
that
think they
makes a lot of
want to do
sense.
that too.
I teach high school. I teach 10th grade, and last year was my first year at this high school. So I got a powerlifting team together, and we got in the gym. And I had to do a bunch of certifications for the public school system to get in the gym. So I got all that done. We got in the gym, and about 3 weeks into it, the school shut down because of COVID. And it was this terrible time because these kids were so excited to get the team going. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, we've been doing virtual workouts, just like body weight stuff at home ever since, because they won't let us back in the gym at this point. But the kids they're so eager that I've just been like kind of heartened by how eager they are to sign on every week onto Google Meets and do these body weight workouts, and they're still logging on and saying like, when are we going to get back in the gym? So we're looking forward to getting back in the gym. I don't think it's going to be, unfortunately, till next year, just because of the way things are here in New York right now. But
yeah, our high school team, they ended up having to scratch like basically their whole season last year, and then this year it's been kind of rough. They ended up only having like their regional meet, and then they'll be going into the state meet. So I think for a lot of the newer lifters, it was kind of a shock, and they didn't really get to reach the goals that they wanted because they couldn't really practice as much as they would have liked to.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's not as strict over here, so they're allowing the students like to work out on campus, and then a lot of them have memberships at the gym, so they get their workouts in over here. So it's still been pretty rough though with them.
high school kids.
Yeah.
How long have you guys had the gym?
It's going on 4 years.
Yeah, going on 4 years.
The setup is perfect. Like the way you got everything set up, all the equipment you got. I mean, it's like really did. Like, I mean, in my opinion, you have.
Oh, like when we got the building, I was looking in the building. I just had a layout how I wanted everything, and we pretty much got it exactly how I wanted.
Yeah, we ended up finding a pretty good space.
It was meant to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely meant to be.
Then we got a little bit of everything. So we have like a few people that do CrossFit. They, we have like a good bit of stuff for them. It really ended up working out really good.
Well, it's very nice that you allow CrossFit people in your gym. I would not let them in my gym. You're very kind.
We try to be.
With the coaching though, what do you think's more fun, right? Like competing or coaching?
Competing.
Competing?
Yeah, he's still very much a competitor. So
I got goals.
Yeah.
I'll ask that question to you when you're like 65. I think it'll change.
Yeah. Walk around with a little clipboard and just really sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right. So you own a gym. You see a lot. And what's your view on steroids?
Me personally, I've never used anything close to that. It's all like natural supplements, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's still the person that's putting the work in. I mean, you could take protein and creatine, sit in your house and still not get anything out of it. It's all about the time you put in the gym. I mean, I don't knock anybody for it. I mean, it's all personal preference,
Yeah. Yeah, there was a point where like my point of view on it, I would have been like, if I owned the gym, I knew someone was using steroids, I would have kicked them out. I'm like, to get out. But
Yeah.
I think I've become a little more flexible on it now.
Yeah.
Our coach, like when we first started lifting, like it was just like the good side and the bad side. It's like dark and evil.
Yeah.
Oh, team traditions. Do you guys have any team traditions?
I wouldn't. I'd say no. Our team is still pretty new. Like most of the members on our team have only been like lifting like maybe a year or so. Have only have like maybe 1 or 2 meets under their belt. So we haven't really like gotten to start like any traditions yet.
You guys got high school kids, so you probably can't do this one. But you want to tell them our team tradition?
Well, yeah, I have my high school team, which is very like early on in its phases, but then we have an adult team that we coach as well. And for the adult team, the tradition is that you need to squat in your underwear if your birthday falls on a squat day.
Oh, that's funny. That would be fun. I don't know. I definitely think I couldn't do it.
Do you prefer lifting in pounds or kilos?
Kilos.
Yeah.
It's hard with the numbers, but I think the kilo place is slightly a bit taller, so I think it helps a little bit for deadlift.
Interesting.
I figured from Louisiana you'd be a true American. No.
The pounds are definitely easier to
way
calculate.
Way easier.
But I
Why is a squat the most important lift?
Because it's the truest test of your strength. Because that's the one lift where the entire weight is bearing on your body.
That's how you know if someone's a real powerlifter. You ask someone that question and they're like, if they're like, what do you mean? No, the deadlift. No. The squat.
You want to know what 500 pounds really feels like? Put it on your back.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You have any questions, Jill? You got nothing? You guys lift raw or equipped?
Raw.
Raw, yeah, raw.
Classic raw and raw. I've never lifted equipped. I'm kind of curious about it because I know it's good for overload and it helps your raw numbers go up. But I see what it does to those high school kids, and I'm like, y'all tough because it bruises the hell out of them.
Yeah. I mean, it's even raw in our organization, they let you lift with the knee wraps on.
Mm-hmm.
Not knee wraps, I'm sorry, the knee sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
And just in order to pair them, like we were dragging her around the house trying to get them on her. Like just,
Yeah.
she threw them on, and it really helped her squat. It actually made a difference, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to tell them the story why you lift raw?
Oh, sure. So in college, we just didn't really have the money to lift equip. So our coach, he put that team together my freshman year, and there were probably about, I would say the first year, there were probably about 15 to 20 of us, and we just all came from different backgrounds. Some of us probably would have had the money to buy the equipment, but a lot of us wouldn't have. So for him, the best approach was just to find a raw organization. So the ADAU was completely raw at the time, and that's where he directed us, was into the ADAU, just because out of necessity that it wasn't going to work. I think also it was also just like corralling a team of like 20 college kids, getting us into suits and wraps when we had no idea like what we were doing was probably the most practical thing. You don't want to be getting kids into knee wraps like so many kids at once. It was hard enough to just get us on the platform when it was our turn to lift at that point. We were a big team. So
yeah. For sure.
Up there. I was wondering though, what was your journey to like becoming gym owners? How did that dream come about for you guys?
I've always loved to lift since I was young, just long before I'd even power lift, just like, exercising, working out. And I always knew I was strong, but I didn't know how strong I was until I really started powerlifting. Then I realized like I can do something in this, and I just really pushed it. And I always told, even before I was powerlifting, I said, man, I would just love to have my own gym. And it was a dream since I was a teenager, like young, very young. And just thank God it happened.
Yeah. Did you guys have a difficult time with the closures with COVID? Like, did that impact you in Louisiana? Because I know up here in New York, it was kind of brutal for gym owners.
Yeah, ours wasn't nearly as rough as out there, but we were closed for about
3 months.
About 3 months we had to close. And it was pretty rough, especially considering we're, still considered like a new business basically, because we haven't even reached our 5-year mark. And, it was certainly scary, but, we kind of powered through, and our members were really good. They were like, a lot of them offered, they were like, I don't care if we can't go, we're still going to pay our fees. We don't want anything to happen to the gym. We want a gym to come back to when we can reopen. So that was really good. And
it helps that I still have my job. So,
yeah.
I mean, she manages the gym. She runs it. and I still work. So that definitely helped with that's like the bills and
Yeah.
keeping the lights on.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you do in addition to the gym ownership?
My dad owns a salvage yard, and we sell like used parts and stuff.
Mhm. So you guys are real busy.
Yeah, it's very Louisiana also.
Yeah, for
It's very Louisiana.
yeah, for sure.
That's probably where a lot of my strength came from, picking up motors and transmissions when I was young.
Yeah.
Has lifting helped you through life's toughest moments?
Oh my God, yeah. Like
Yeah, for sure.
a lot of people say I look young. I think it's because I have this place to reduce my stress.
Yeah, for sure.
It's always been like a stress reliever for me.
And also, has faith in something also helped you through those moments?
What's that?
Faith.
faith.
Oh,
Oh, yes, for
for sure.
sure. That's like a big part of it. It plays a big role, I think. Um, you know, you have to have something, something to believe in, and that like having a strong faith base, lifestyle is definitely a big plus, like a huge plus. You know?
I always compare the gym life like almost like a religion. You gotta be dedicated to it, and you know the time you put in, like just like in church or in your religion, whatever belief it is dedication. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and it almost has the same type of following. You can have a crappy day and walk in and walk out and you feel like 50% relieved compared to when you first walked in.
Yeah.
It's just it's a safe haven, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Has the lifting ever been like a conflict between you two?
I think when I first started out, we definitely butted heads a lot. Um, just because I don't know, it was just something about because he had already started and I was just getting into it, and you kind of like I don't know, with us being married, I guess I always felt like, oh, he's trying to tell me what to do, and then I'd be like really resistant to it and everything. But then, once I saw that he always had like my best interests at heart and that he wouldn't tell me that I could do something if he didn't believe that I could do it. Once I like kind of got past that, I think it got a lot better. Like I think it like definitely strengthened our relationship. It definitely helped with that.
Do you think you guys are a more competitive couple than a couple that doesn't compete in athletics together?
I mean, I would say it's good for us to have something in common, like a common interest, something that we both enjoy. Just like for instance, the last couple of years he competed at the Arnold's, and it was always around our anniversary. So we're like, oh well, this is gonna be our anniversary trip. And I think if it wouldn't be something that I loved as well, I think that definitely would have caused conflict. But it's because it's something that we both love to do. It definitely doesn't really put a damper on things, that's for sure.
I think we spent our second wedding anniversary at a nationals. It wasn't or it might have been our first. I don't know. It was either our first or second wedding anniversary, and we were at a nationals championship together. So
Yeah,
It's a win-win.
yeah, definitely for sure. For my birthday, actually, this past summer, we spent my birthday at a USPA meet in Texas, and I was like, well, it's something that we both love to do. Is what better way to celebrate than on the platform,
All right, this is a tough one for you, Cole, because I ask this to a lot of guys, and your wife's sitting right next to you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you take advice from a woman?
Depending on what she's done.
Wait, advice?
What you mean, like a lifter?
And any woman, can you take advice from
Just
women?
in general.
Can you take lifting advice from women?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
From your wife?
Yeah.
It's to feel like.
Well, she's been in it for a while, so I think she knows what to look for now.
Yeah.
I think sometimes, like what we've been doing, she's been lifting a year more than me. But we've been, would you say 2001?
2001, yeah.
Sometimes it's if someone else would have told me something, I would have been like, oh yeah, okay, like I see what you're talking about. Well, when I hear it from my wife, I'm like, no, now I'm not going to do it just because you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we were at first.
Yeah, that's definitely how it was at first.
She'll tell you. She's got a story for you.
There was this time I was actually like 9 months pregnant, so I wasn't training at all. And he was training for a meet, and he was doing box squats, and he was squatting on a bench, and I kept watching him squat and saying, you're not getting deep. And he was like, I know where below parallel is. And then I said it one more time. I was like, you're not hitting below parallel. And he was like, leave me alone. I know where below parallel is. So we went to the competition, and I had the baby at this point, but we had three kids. So I had the little one with me, and he squatted his first attempt, and it was high. And then this judge, we know for years, like since we were brand new lifters, she comes over to me and she goes, tell Mike he has to go deeper. This judge Brenda, she's awesome. She has this like real hard edge about her. And I was like, I'm not saying anything, Brenda. So she goes over to him. And she's like, you got to go deeper. And then she squats his second one. It's high. She comes back over to me and she's like, why is he not squatting deeper? And I was like, I'm not saying anything, Brenda.
I bombed that out.
Bombed out. But anyway, that was the story.
Yeah. Brenda Siegel, she never lifted. She was a wife of Al Siegel, who ran the ADAU, and she was an official, man. When it came to the bench, you did not want her being the head judge, man. She had the longest bench signals, take forever. But when she was doing the table and she had the microphone, she was hysterical. Like she'd just be like, "What were you thinking?"
She'd be brutal. Yeah. What were you thinking?
Yeah,
not today.
Yeah, not today. Yeah, you just you'd miss the lift, and then you look at her like, really?
Let it sting just a little more.
Yeah.
All right. How bad do you hate CrossFit?
I actually went to watch them do it, and I don't know how they do it. That's a lot of wear and tear on your body.
Yeah.
And they really, if they say something negative about us, it's about how heavy we lifting. But it's like you're lifting like a pretty heavy weight for a lot of reps. So it's like I think it's gonna tear you down before it's gonna tear me down. I picked that up one time.
Yeah.
Like I don't know Olympic lifting. I know it a little bit, but I have no right to really speak about Olympic lifting. And I have spoken to people who were Olympians and coaches of Olympians, and it drives them nuts watching people that do CrossFit doing these cleans and snatches, and they just. First of all, Olympic lifting is a very injurious, I don't know if that's a word, sport.
Yeah.
And I never really thought it was until I spoke with a lot of Olympic lifters, because I always figured that, well, they don't have 1,000 pounds on their back, so it's less weight, so the top athletes must not be getting hurt. And then when I seen them break it down for me, how the weight's moving, where the joints are, the pressure's coming down, how fast things are happening, and I was just like, oh, I was like, that is why there's so many Olympic lifters injured, and there's so many past Olympic lifters that were Olympians or just really great Olympic lifters. They're power lifters now, because it's for them it's easier to do. I always would have thought that Olympic lifting's lighter weight, but they say it's and so then they see all these people doing CrossFit and doing the Olympic lifts. I'm like, just stick to throwing the rope thing, or tossing a tire around or something. But
some of those things they do, I definitely find are pretty scary when I'm watching them do it, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And things I would never want to attempt to do just because of like you said, how quickly the weight's moving and the position that it's putting them in, like it's definitely scary. So I would think that it would be you.
And the amount of reps they doing, your
Yeah.
form after a while is gonna go out the window, and you just using anything that you can to get it up.
Yeah.
And it's like, your form's gonna break down, and then eventually you're gonna break down.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was just speaking with a chiropractor who's a very, very good powerlifter also. And he loves it. He's like, it's all my patients. And but I've spoken to a lot of other gym owners, and they say, well, it's great for the sport of powerlifting because all of these people that were CrossFitters and wound up getting into powerlifting or Olympic lifting, right?
Mhm.
Like either way, they would have never been here anyway if it wasn't for CrossFit. CrossFit, for some reason, it seems, I guess, softer. I guess maybe the powerlifting is scary. Maybe Olympic lifting, it must be scary. But these people, I don't know. I guess as powerlifters, we got to figure out a way to we got to wear pink shirts or something, or do something to just get people to come straight to powerlifting.
Yeah.
Pre-workout. Use pre-workout.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
What's the recommended dosage of pre-workout?
I take a full scoop of pre-gym.
And you only take one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'm usually only like half scooping.
I'm already like a high-strung, nervous person.
Yeah.
So I take one scoop and I'm rolling.
Yeah.
Usually when I talk to people and I ask them and they say what the recommended dosage is, and I'm like, well, how much do you take? And they're like, 3. I kind of I cycle my pre-workout with my cycle. So it's I get to week 8, now I'm at 4 scoops.
On meet day, I'm like a scoop before a squat, a scoop before bench, a scoop before deadlift.
Tell her what happened.
Oh well, you could start that
All right,
story off, and I'll tell you.
Okay, right. So right before this competition, right before my workouts, I was using 4 scoops of pre-workout. So now in my head, I'm like, well, I got to squat, bench, deadlift, right? Well, that's 12 scoops. So by the time the deadlift rolls around, right, I take the whole thing, and well, she could tell you the rest.
Well, I didn't know he did that, and he did his last attempt, and he was walking around, and he looked like a lobster, and I thought that he was gonna have a heart attack or something. So I was going like, "Are you okay? You're really red. Do you feel okay? You feel like you're gonna pass out?" He's like, "No, I'm fine.
My skin was burning. It was literally I felt like I had a sunburn.
That's how it is. Crazy.
I couldn't imagine.
The math, it doesn't. You can't multiply it by 3. It doesn't work out.
I've also
No. I usually the week before a meet, I'll cut out all caffeine. I won't drink coffee, no pre-workout, nothing like that. About a week or 2 before a meet, and then that way on the day of the meet, when I take my first scoop, I'm wired, ready to roll.
Yeah, I've also learned you should not take pre-workout while recovering from COVID, because I don't really rely on the pre-workout, but I'm just getting over COVID in the spring, and I had this accelerated heart rate, and I took a scoop, and my heart rate went up to 155 just standing around, and then that was scary.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you guys. I was looking on your website. What's that egg stuff that you got? The protein?
What is it?
It looked like it was a container of it said eggs, and it was some protein thing. Was that on your website?
Eggs? Oh no, I don't.
I'm just making it up.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Hold on. Yeah, because there's another Iron Empire that closed down. No, muscle egg. Was that on your website?
No, that's not.
I was on the wrong website. Never mind. Okay. Well, it's something else I wanted to talk about. The tiptoes on the bench. that much, right? I see some organizations, right? They allow you to do that. Just have your toes down on the bench.
Yeah, most of them do, except for the USAPL. Your foot has to be flat. But like USPA, SPF, APF, you can be up on your toes for the bench.
I didn't know that many organizations allow it.
Yeah.
What do you feel it does as compared to being flat-footed?
It's harder to lock yourself in, I think, because just lack of flexibility. I mean, women do it a lot easier than men.
Yeah.
Like they can fold in half, and like us to I'm short, my legs are short, so it's really hard to get in the arch I need with my feet being flat.
Okay.
Yeah, I do find that I have like more flexibility if I'm up on my toes as opposed to my foot being flat on the ground.
Do you get the leg drive that you need on your toes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we've only lifted in the ADAU, USCPL, and 100% raw, and you have to be flat-footed in all of them. So we don't really have any experience with that.
Yeah, I feel like I get more leg drive with my heels up, like with on my toes, than I do with my foot flat. I don't know. Yeah.
I didn't see any videos of you guys using chains or bands. You guys, you have that in your gym?
Yeah, oh yeah. We use bands here. A lot of times it's like for like accessory days, like for more of like triceps, like close grip bench. I'll use chains too.
Yeah, and then we use the bands every once in a while, like on deadlifts and stuff. But we don't. We usually only post the videos of our big three and not really of our accessory days. So, but
Probably do more of that.
Yeah, we probably should.
Yeah, everybody loves seeing the chains because it looks cool.
Yeah.
I find I like using. Well, I use the chains and bands for all three of the lifts, but like I like the combination of the chains and the bands because like while the chains, right, the weight gets heavier the higher you get. The same kind of with the bands, but I feel the bands they get exponentially higher, right? Like it's like towards the top, like.
Yeah.
I think it's a little different than the chains, and I like using them both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I prefer the bands probably over the chains.
Yeah.
You like to do the bands, especially on your bench with his bench accessories. He likes to use the bands a lot.
Yeah, if I had to choose, I would go with the chain. Oh, and sorry, with the band. Yeah.
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 Chains is good for like stabilizing muscles and stuff like that too, especially like on bench.
What's your goal for this gym?
Huh?
Your goal, long term.
Just keep getting better, keep improving. Maybe eventually open another one in another location.
Yeah.
But never lose sight of what I'm doing here. Just keep getting better.
Yeah, and definitely, obviously because we're from Louisiana and like the culture here and everything's like, based on like the food and stuff like that. So we definitely want to, this place to be where the community can come and just trying to like make the community healthier than what it is, because a lot of the food that we have here is definitely not,
Stomach friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and to give like the youth in the community like something to do, like we're a very small town and there's really nothing for the kids to do. So if we get a lot of kids that'll come in the evenings and on the weekends, and it kind of turns into a little bit of a hangout spot, but it's better than them being on the streets, and it kind of gives them something positive to focus on, and a lot of them once they get started and they start lifting, and you guys know it's pretty addictive, and it's a good positive thing to get behind.
Yeah, it's addictive. I mean, I'm in my basement right now. Look, like it took over my whole house. I got 2 squat racks. Who has 2 squat racks in their basement? Only me.
Yeah.
And I'm trying. The next thing I want to get is a reverse hyper extension. Yeah. I have a leg curl machine.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good idea, but now I'm like, I think the reverse hyper extension is a better idea.
Oh yeah. I've seen those and I've seen a lot of people use them. And we actually for before one of the last hurricanes in the area. We evacuated to Houston and we went to a gym in the Woodlands, and they had one of those, and I saw somebody using it. I was like, man, that would be really cool to have in the gym. Definitely something that a piece that I would want to see in here eventually.
I thought you guys don't have reverse hyperextension?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Mm-mm. No, we don't.
Yeah, they definitely. I think when I talk to my my accent, do you think I'm like crazy or something? Like I even sometimes I hear myself say words and I'm like, I need to learn to speak English. Yeah, when
Too much
to gym owners, you know, I'll tell them exactly all the equipment I have, and they'll be like, oh, next piece is the reverse hyperextension machine.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause I got the squat racks, I got the bars, I got the adjustable benches. I got all the weights. I got cable machine. You know, and everyone's like that reverse hyperextension. Yeah, I want to get one of those. And then I'd like to get a safety bar, and because you know, like her elbows, her shoulders hurt right now. She can't get it. It's hard for her to get her arm behind the bar.
Yeah.
You got to see the setup that we made for her to squat. I have these two things from Elite FTS. They like clamp on the bar so that you can like grab it for like front squats, or almost like a safety bar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so why couldn't you squat with it that way?
Oh, because you need the pad on that.
Oh yeah, so she can't squat with just that, right? So she needs the pad and everything, right? So I'm like, well, now we need to buy a whole safety bar. Titan's out of stock, and Elite FTS is like $400 or $500. So we just have towels wrapped up around it. So
Bungee on.
yeah, with the bungee cord. Yeah, towels around the bar with the bungee cord.
It works.
So,
hey, if it works.
Yeah, you got to get innovative at times.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I have a love-hate relationship with that bar.
It was great getting to know you guys.
Yeah, for sure. This was fun. I like it.
It's cool.
Next time we're melting off a motorcycle in August in Louisiana, we'll swing by.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool,
that would be awesome.
I'll get a workout in.
I
Yeah,
definitely
exactly.
love to make that trip again, just in a different time. But we came down the Blue Ridge Parkway, you know, all down like Appalachia, and then came into New Orleans, and then we went down the coast. This was right after Hurricane. What's the one that destroyed? Yeah, Katrina.
Yeah.
It was like just
A couple years after.
a little bit after Katrina, but I mean, people were still like, "Oh, thanks for coming," you know, because it was still.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it was a great time. We went to like all of Emerald Lagasse's restaurants. It was awesome.
That's basically
Yeah.
stay in the pool and eat.
Yeah, we stayed in the pool. We went to cooking classes and ate and stuff. It was
Definitely come in the fall when it's cool.
Yeah. Or early spring.
We were working around my graduate school schedule, so I think we waited till my summer classes were over, and then we went at the end of August.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna go with our kids to our favorite place, Cracker Barrel.
Okay.
They got Cracker Barrel down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's our favorite place.
Yeah. I like the Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. I'll keep following you on Instagram. All right.
Cool deal. Y'all take care.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take
Oh,
care.
Oh,
you got my wife at Jill Neziri on Instagram.
Oh yeah, for sure. We'll definitely give you a follow.
Yeah. She's a great lifter. Okay, bye, guys.
Nice meeting you.
All right,
God bless.
bye. Thank you.